So we're back again in week 3 to talk about an article we read online. My name's Charlie Baker, and I read an article called Giving Oral Presentations. It's pretty straightforward. It's what I'm doing right now. And I read an article by a man named Chris Young, not the country singer. He's got a voice. He's got a dang good voice, but not the same guy. Different Chris Young. Wrote way back about 20 years ago in July 1998. And he was talking about giving oral presentations if you're a student in a class. So if I had to step in front of y'all, in front of my class, he's giving you some pointers on what he thinks you could do to make you a little less nervous, to keep you calm, to keep you under control, and to keep you giving the presentation that he wants you to give. Because of course he's going to be grading it, and he wants you to give the presentation that he thinks would receive an A. And to do that, of course, you have to start by getting your audience's attention. We've talked about that for 3 weeks. That is your main thing. If me, Charlie Baker, can't get your attention, there's no point for me to speak because you're not listening. And that's step 1. And it goes on from there, and it's a process. You want to state your objective. You want to tell them who you are. You want to tell them why you're there. That is number 1. You start there. If they don't know why you're there, they don't know what they're listening to. And again, it's a process. It goes on. You decide what information you need. Don't fill their ears with a bunch of useless info, because you can talk to them as long as it relates, but information, that's a big word. Most people, they will ignore it unless it really is key information. You got to keep their attention. Don't bore them. Okay? This is all stuff that Mr. Chris Young had to say. And again, we've said this last week, don't read from your slides. It's all about the key points, and you need to know them. Know your material. Okay, go over it a little bit and know what you're talking about. It keeps people interested, makes them think you know what you're talking about. And my number 1 thing, and I try not to let it bother me, and sometimes it'll mess up my whole mind, but his key point was do not panic if you make a mistake. You see me, I'm messing up my words, and that's just because I don't know how to talk. I'm just Southern and ain't good with words, but if you forget what you're trying to say, stop, take a breath. Everyone makes mistakes, and you don't need to panic. Okay, that is a huge step in making a good presentation. If you stutter, you mess up, you forget some words, everyone in the audience knows people make mistakes. You know people make mistakes, so don't let it bother you. So, what did I learn mostly was, I loved his key point right there at the end, was don't panic. Because everyone does it. And you have to remember that. Everybody does it. And how will I learn from this? Is I'll make sure people know who I am. I've learned that from week 1. And I love how in week 3 I'm reading articles that is reiterating everything I've learned. And I love that because it makes it feel that much more important. I like how I've been taught that I need to make sure you put in discussion 1. Our teacher put in discussion 1, intro. Make sure you get their attention, and it's being repeated in week 3. And that shows me it's very important. And thank you, Mr. Chris Young, on your giving oral presentations, because you've helped me complete my oral presentation with your article about oral presentations. 20 years later, my man Chris Young coming through for me. Alright, I'm Charlie Baker. I'll catch y'all next week for presentation 4, and y'all have a blessed evening.